Okay, this video for a $9 set of earphones, $9 US. We did before I continue, the Sinoco Trace is not the name. It's called the Cinco Trace is up today. It wasn't claimed when it was given away prior, so it's going up again, kind of like the Let's Shore. All of that stuff's been taken care of except for the EM10 by SimGod. I just saw that person's mail again today, and it keeps going into my spam folder. I got no idea what's going on. But that got to be taken care of. So if you comment below this video and you are a subscriber to this channel and also to the unboxing channel, we just hit 4K over there. Thank you for your support. I'm going to pull up a person that's got the subscriber icon and send it to them anywhere around the world. So thanks for the support. And this is me returning it to you. Now let's get back to this set. $9. The previous KZ we just did was $12. If you're wondering, are you going to keep doing expensive flagships? Of course I am. I've got a couple that are actually on the way right now. But in the meantime, there's no reason not to do some videos for what are very reasonable tunings and for exceptionally reasonable prices. We did one that was $12 KZ in the previous video, and I opined or talked out loud about how that was barely enough to get yourself filled up on McDonald's in Japan recently, $12 US. But it's possible. The $9 for this is not enough. If I took the equal $9 to a Japanese McDonald's, I couldn't have a fulfilling lunch. So this is literally less than the price of a lunch where I live locally here in Japan. And it's earphones that play back music, and it does it quite good for its price. Looking at the frequency response graph, I've got another set that was, a lot of people liked it a couple years ago. It was called QKZ VK4. It was the original version, not the retuned, which I don't know what happened with that or why they did that. Let me click in and out so that you can see it in case you're not seeing it. This is the ND Audio Venus by itself, and this is with the VK4 lined up at 500 hertz. You can see that the VK4 has a little bit more bass. It's also got a lot less extension. Pretty much right when you get to 8K it falls away, and that's about it. It's kind of like the new Quattro by Binary. Once it hits 8K, it's just pretty much gone. And the VK4 I think was very popular because it was $12 or something like that. It was a very affordable set. This is another set, and it's $9, and it's similar to that, but it's got better extension. I'll talk about the music replay, and I'll get into that right now. In the low end, talking about stuff like Big Boy Killjill, the triple drop, 38 hertz. This is a single dynamic driver. This has good slam. It's not a bass headset, but it's on par with the VK4 when it comes to the impact, which I still have, by the way. I ended up doing some collabs with the same company, QKZ, and I got a bunch of their stuff, like boxes of it. And it's similar to the slam on that. The 4-string bass guitars, the pulls, the plucks, and releases actually sounds really good. And when you consider it's $9, it's completely crazy. And it's got a little bit to do with that there is energy around 5K, and that gives the ringing aspect of the bass guitar 4 and 5-string sounds a little bit more lively. I like the replay. When we get into the emphasized kick drum by Bonham from the 4th album, boom, 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 both of these sets, the VK4 and also the Venus, are giving you enough mid bass and bass overall to convey that produced kick drum. It's not simply a kick drum intro, it's a forceful with panning and swirling, and you can pick up that it's a produced kick drum, which is what I want. I don't want it to sound simply like somebody with a kick drum with a mic randomly placed. So it does the bass on the low end fine. There's not a problem with that. It's a single dynamic driver, so where the struggles come in is what I talk about next, which is vocals. Chris Cornell, Lane Staley, and Nina doing a cover of Blondie, Heart of Glass. This is, for example, the bass being a little bit too much is where vocals become a problem. On this set, like the KZ, it really isn't. They're not boosting up this bass so much on this or the previously reviewed KZ that it's really getting in the way. There's a sense of warmth for female vocals that's present, but there's a lot of sets that you can check on Squig, not for technicality or any stuff that doesn't get conveyed by a graph, but overall tonality does, and that level of mid bass is actually a lot of popular sets are tuning like that, and people seem to be fine with it. So while it's not the ideal vocal as far as like the cleaned out mid bass, it's also really not getting in the way for male vocals. Maybe female vocals slightly heated. Though I find it to be appealing personally. People know my personal taste. I'm more sensitive to the part that we'll talk about next, which is the upper mids. Both of these sets have relatively low attacks. Like the angle of the gain is not abrupt, and it's kind of long and it slopes, so it's taking the first or the second, third, fourth, fifth order harmonics of all the instruments and the vocals and not really pushing it up louder than what I would consider to be normal based on listening to thousands of earphones. I'm not like, oh wow, that's loud. It sounds good. It treats vocals well. As we get into what is overtones, and again, knock on the table, the initial strike of my knuckle on the table creates the fundamental sonic event that occurs at a certain frequency. Let's say around 500 hertz. And then all of that cascading energy that slowly dies away, which should equal about 90% of the overall event, is actually overtones, aka harmonics, created by that initial event. And it is on a scale that is 1,000 hertz wide to the middle, and then the other half is 19,000. So we've got 1,000 on the left and 19,000. It's very, very compressed on the right side. There's a lot of info on that side. People look at 10 hertz and say, you know, or 15 hertz, let's say, and say, it's not really a lot of stuff back beyond that. Okay, we could take that out, and then we've still got 14,000 hertz that are in that area, and a lot of it is overtones. This is treating stuff like cymbals, keyboards, pianos, guitars, electric and acoustic, with or without distortion pedals, in an actually really good way. I'm trying not to hype it, but at the same time, I know that this is a $9 set. And that's something for a lot of people out there, like that's in their wheelhouse. I would say that if you have a library like mine, this is not rolled off. You're not going to suffer from that. This is not too light on the bass. You're not going to suffer from that. It's not blowing out the vocals. Female dominant libraries, I guess there would be some people that would be maybe not turned on by this tuning, but that would be the same for the VK4 or sets like that. So it's not hitting wrong anywhere, and it's priced for $9. So let me go ahead and put it up on the scale. Is it a dumpster fire? No. If it fell into a dumpster that was on fire and you have reasonable income, you wouldn't shed a tear because it's $9. Hope it was free. That's not going to be free because $9. Nobody's going to be like, yay, let me get that. But that'll be the Cinco Tres right there. Coping is working? No. The KZ and this back to back, I'm not. It's kind of the opposite. The expensive sets that come later are going to be where I know I'm thinking, wow, and start to calculate in my head. I'd buy it. I would. I'd change the cable though. I'm not a fan of that cable really. I'm going to shamelessly hype it. I'm going to rank this the same as the KZ. I'm going to put it between the two because I'm going to undoubtedly mention this in future videos where I'm talking about the best sets that you can get that are under. And then I'm going to get down to prices like under $20, which is crazy. And there's legit some options down there now in 2024 that are tuned. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's it for this video. Good job. I'm going to stop for right now unless somebody sends me a $4 set, which actually this company said if you do AliExpress in a certain way, this will be $6. But then something happens or whatever. But there's a link below. It's not affiliated. I never do that. But they said you can use these links if you end up doing a video for it and you like it. I do like it, and I'm doing a video for it, so I'll go ahead and put the link below. This is the ND Venus, and it costs $9. $9. And I'm out.